the answer to the growing movement to sexualize children, to steal their innocence through things like drag queen story hour, inappropriate sex education, introducing them to the confusion of gender ideology, using them as political pawns and objects of validation for the sexual expression of adults? How do we combat the reconfiguration of the family? Commercialized surrogacy and the cultural and technological changes that ignore the rights and well-being of children. What it means to need a mother and a father present in children's lives to protect their well-being, to protect their innocence. There is an assault on these things today. Conservative activist group Moms for Liberty was kicked off Twitter for criticizing a California bill revoking the rights of parents whose children want to transition. Twitter and Reddit are censoring the word groomer to describe adults who talk to children about gender switching and sexuality. What else are we supposed to call them? I want us to see and to stare in the face the darkness and the depravity that is underneath the gender ideology, the radical gender ideology that has taken our culture captive. I want you to see that when it comes to this subject, we are dealing with evil. We are dealing with people who are perpetrating evil and people who are victims of evil. Sometimes those are the same people. We're going to be talking about pornography. We are going to be talking about pornography's role and sexual perversion's role in all of this. We're going to be talking, unfortunately, about BDSM and how that is inextricably intertwined with this movement, as taboo, as controversial as that is to say. Predatory in nature. It calls for courage, especially on the part of Christians. Take no part, 5:11, take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, for it is shameful even to speak of the things that they do in secret. But when anything is exposed by the light, it becomes visible, for anything that becomes visible is light. Therefore it says, awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. And let no one deceive you with empty words. For because of these things, the wrath of God comes upon the sons of disobedience. Therefore, do not become partners with them. For at one time you were darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. So walk of children as children of light. For the fruit of light is found in all that is good and right and true, and try to discern what is pleasing to the Lord.
According to the UN Human Rights Commission, imputations of sin to the conduct and choices of LGBT individuals in the name of religion are often used as the justification for criminalization and other punitive measures in legal systems that in many cases derive from colonial structures that were superimposed on cultural views that were more accepting of diversity. Obviously, we have many countries that criminalize same-sex relationships or alternative forms of gender expression. But further, incitement to violence and discrimination on the basis of personal characteristics by faith-based leaders has been documented in many instances. Such incitement constitutes hate speech and is protected neither by freedom of expression nor by freedom of religion or belief. Religious institutions are entitled to autonomy in the administration of their affairs and may have varying opinions about sexual orientation and gender identity-related matters, but under no circumstances should their authorities incite violence or hatred. According to Charles Kimball in his book, When Religion Becomes Evil, it is somewhat trite, but nevertheless sadly true, to say that more wars have been waged, more people killed, and these days more evil perpetrated in the name of religion than by any other institutional force in human history. Mark Juergensmeyer, in his book, Terror in the Mind of God, he says that by ratcheting divisions up to a cosmic level, what makes religious violence particularly savage and relentless is that it puts worldly conflicts in a larger-than-life context of cosmic war. In 2011, according to the FBI hate crime statistics, 1 in 5 hate crimes is motivated by a sexual orientation bias. And of those, the perpetrators, 59% of them were white. Only 20% were black, and most hate crimes occurred in or near homes, while a smaller proportion took place on highways, roads, alleys, or streets, and thankfully an even smaller amount happened at churches, synagogues, or temples. In 2020, we saw increases from the hate crimes in 2019. Gay men were the most hard hit with this, with an increase of 47% year over year in hate crime and incidents. Next up was anti-transgender incidents with an increase of 41%. It is no wonder that we have these statistics when we have the moral majority pushing these extremely toxic, violence-inducing narratives that say that gay men, trans women are out to corrupt your children, assault your children, mutilate your children, when they say that they are evil, that they are a source of depravity in our nation that incites this violence, and it cannot be allowed to be spoken with impunity. It must be labeled and addressed as hate speech. What is truly alarming about these statistics is that between 2019 and 2020, 451 fewer law enforcement agencies actually reported hate crimes data. 71 cities with populations exceeding 100,000 either did not report data to the FBI or affirmatively reported 0 hate crimes, which is clearly not credible. We don't even know the full scope of what is happening in hate crimes, but from the small portion that we can see, it is terrifying. If you are in Colorado and you are affected by last night's incidents, you can reach out to Colorado Crisis Services by calling 844-493-8255, or you can text TALK to 38255. We will get through this. We will come together as a community. We will reach out to our mental health and victims advocacy groups. We are stronger together.